One of the major decisions that you have to make as someone who wants to build profitable mobile applications with no code is, how do I handle payment? Right? There are a lot of things to think about before you choose a payment processor or before you choose a payment intermediary. So a lot of time you might say that you want to handle payment via Apple or via Google Store or via Stripe yourself. But all of these methods have their advantages and have their own disadvantages. One of the first ways to handle payment is to handle it through Google or probably Apple Store directly. But ways are very, very tedious. They're very difficult to handle. You would definitely need to code most of those things into it, right? So it's pretty difficult, and if you are not very technical savvy, the chances of you being able to handle that, it's very, very low. So instead of doing it yourself, I do recommend that you use intermediaries, right? Some of these intermediaries will include Adapty, will include RevenueCat, and Stripe. Why I use them and why I think it's smart for you to use them also. My name is Paul. I help entrepreneurs like yourself build very profitable applications using no code. So let's dive into the video, right? So first on my list right here is Adapty. I discovered Adapty a few months ago, and I think it's a very, very good platform to collect payment. So what Adapty does is that Adapty handles payment for you completely. It helps you with all your customer profiles, help you segment your profiles. As you can see on the screen right now, you would see that Adapty helps you to segment your profiles, helps with your, just to synchronize your products with the App Store. RevenueCat help you do the same thing, right? RevenueCat help you do the same thing. They help you to handle paywalls. They help you to do targeting. They help you to perform experiments. And Adapty and RevenueCat has this new feature that I think is really, really good. They help you to collect payment on the web, right? So you collect the payment on the web. So you without collecting the payment from Apple or Google Store, right? So you collect the payment on the web, then you can now redirect people to the store. So you synchronize it with your database to tell people that they've paid already. So if they paid already, that's fine. If they haven't paid, then they don't see what's there in the application. Whenever they want to pay, they go to the web and they make payments and come back. So one of the advantages of this is that you will be able to escape that huge cost, the huge cost of doing business with Apple and Google Store. Let me show you the cost you're going to be escaping if you decide to move your payment from mobile all the way to the web. All right. So let's say, for example, your subscription is $9.99 and your cost per acquisition, right? The investment you make, cost per install is $1. And you have 5,000 installs a week. So what happens is that this is the revenue, right, that comes for you, right? 8,112. And this is what becomes your revenue at the end of the day. You know why it becomes your revenue? Because Apple takes a whole lot of money. So this is Apple commission, right? 944. There's a whole lot. So they take up to 15% of the cash flow in order for them to service, because they're collecting payment for you from the customer. So what happens to you is that whenever you try to collect the payment via web, the only payment you're paying for, you're paying Adapty or you're paying RevenueCat, and you're not paying Apple Store. You're bypassing Apple Store to collect that payment for yourself. And that's pretty exciting, right? And I think one of the way that RevenueCat does this is that they use Paddle, right? Paddle is really good. It's for subscription payment. They handle all of these things for you themselves. So I think it's something you should try probably later in the future, right? So let's go back to comparing all of these three. The next option that I use to collect payment is Stripe. So I'm based out of Africa, and Stripe is not really the best option for me. But when I'm building for clients and they say they are based in America, I use Stripe because I think it's really, really easy to implement, and it's really most of these no-code tools, right, that we have in a country. For example, if you're building with FlutterFlow, Stripe comes bundled with it. If you're building with Bubble, Stripe comes bundled with it. If you're building with Adalo, Stripe comes bundled with it. So these are very easy methods. These are making Stripe very, very easy to implement and very, very easy to use. And also, one thing I like about Stripe is the pricing, right? Stripe reduce the pricing for you. Make sure that you're keeping bulk of the money for your business and you're not giving it to anybody. That's one of the reasons why I think Stripe is good. So if you look at it right now, you will see that Stripe charges you 2.9% plus 10% for every transaction, right? So let's go standard pricing. And then there is global payments. There's a bit of other things, but just know that there are a bit of other things to learn about Stripe. But on the average, you will charge 2.9% plus 30 cents. One of the reasons why I love to use Stripe is if you're building a marketplace. Stripe is one of the best tools for building marketplaces because it helps you to split the money without you doing any accounting. So it saves you accounting, saves you all of those stuff. So what Stripe does with marketplace is you tell it how many percent do you want to give to the owner of the business, right? Let's say you have a marketplace, you created a marketplace startup and people are signing up to do business with you and you tell yourself that you're going to give 70% to the marketplace and you're going to give 30% to yourself for every sale. One thing that Stripe does for you is that they'll just split it for you immediately. Once the transaction happens, they split it for you and you don't have to really think about how do I do this, how do I do that. All you have to do is to set it in the database. All you have to do is to set it in your application and Stripe handles that for you immediately. So that's one thing I like about Stripe, and that's one reason why I love to use Stripe. But here's the caveat when it comes to using Stripe for a mobile application, is that it's not accepted in every country. For example, I'm based out of Africa, and Stripe, it's not really easy for you to implement Stripe here, right? Our local cards might not be able to, we aren't able to use our local cards, so we have to use foreign virtual cards for Stripe, and that's not really fair. And another thing is that Stripe for mobile applications, direct payment via mobile applications, it's only available in the US. It's not available for maybe the EU and any other country. So if US is your major market, is a major market for you, why not? You can go ahead and implement Stripe and everything works well for you. But if you're thinking of targeting other countries outside the US, it's still not possible for you to use web payment for mobile applications for other countries. So which means that you would have to choose between Adapty and RevenueCat. So when it comes to Adapty and RevenueCat, RevenueCat is very, very easy to implement. It's a breeze, right? Especially if you're building with Nocode, because they've been in the industry for a while. It's so easy to implement. Then for Adapty, you have to work with the SDK to implement it, right? Pretty straightforward, but you just have to work with the SDK to implement it, especially if you're building with FlutterFlow, right? If you're building FlutterFlow, Adapty SDK is custom in FlutterFlow, so you just have to work with it and fill in some custom conditioners, and off you go. You're already working and your app itself is running. But the difference between these two is the analytics. You see, this is Adapty Analytics right here on the screen, and you would see how much it gives you, right? So I'm going to check in for the last 6 months. I'm going to say apply. Adapty gives you every single thing that you need, right? See, it's going to tell you what's my annual return revenue. So I don't have to guess it. What's the number of installs that I have. It's going to tell me how many active subscribers I have, new subscribers I have. It's just going to tell me all of these things, all of it. So the analytics is really, really, really robust, and it's something that you want to take a look at in your application, right? And you can also see things like funnels, how people are coming into your application and how they are leaving your application. You definitely see all of these things in your dashboard, right? But for RevenueCat, it's not like that. The analytics is not the best, right? So you look at charts, return revenue, but it doesn't really drill it down. So if you're somebody who would like analytics, then Adapty is going to be for you. But if you're somebody who doesn't really care about analytics, you just care about money in your bank account, then you want to go with RevenueCat. And also another difference here is the way both of them charge, right? RevenueCat does not charge you anything. Once you grow your business to a certain extent, they start charging you per transaction, right? That's what they charge you. They start charging you per transaction. But for Adapty charge you right from the get-go if you want to use most of the tools they provide, right? So if I click on upgrade to pro, I just want you to see, you can see that you charge 1% of your monthly revenue when you make 2,500 and above. So you can see it. So when I make 2,500 and above, I'm going to be charged like this. And when I charge like this, I'll be able to see a whole lot more, right? But I don't want to upgrade because I'm not making that money. It's fine. So for persons who are just getting started with launching good mobile apps, and you don't want to pay anything, you just want to test the waters, then RevenueCat is for you. But if you come here to Adapty, you see that you definitely have to pay. You have to pay immediately. So if I click on cohort, it tells me that I have to upgrade to pro. I have to upgrade to pro. If I click here, it tells me that I have to upgrade to pro. And you can see Pro Plus is $499. $499 when I make my first 40K, and then $11.99 per 1K that I make on a monthly basis. Then here it says $99 a month for the first 10K. After that, I have to pay $9.99 per 1K that I use. So you see, for me to be able to get the best out of Adapty, I have to pay $99 every single month, irrespective of how much I'm earning. If I want to get the best out of Adapty. So you see the difference, right? So that's majorly the difference. So you have to think about what exactly you want to achieve. So what I always say to farmers is, let what you want to achieve determine the tools that you use. Don't pick a tool and then try to use it to achieve what you want, but instead let what you want to achieve determine the tool that you're going to use. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section how you're currently collecting money, what tool are you using. Are you using Adapty? Are you using RevenueCat? Are you using Stripe? Are you using Paddle? Let me know what you're using. And also, if you're looking forward to building profitable applications for yourself or for your business, feel free to reach out to me and I'll definitely help you get started. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in a different video. All right.